Good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope everybody is having a great start to their Valentine's Day. And today I would like to show you how I'm going to make my Valentine's Day pie. But first, I would like to wish my mom a spectacular, very beautiful, happy birthday. My mom was born on Valentine's Day, and she is one of my greatest heroes, the best in my life. And I love you, Mom. Happy birthday. Oh, of course, if you can hear my dog barking, she agrees. She's outside. It is a cold 36 degrees here in South Carolina right now. Um, it's going to be a few hours before we reach 70 degrees, but we are going to go up to about 81 by Thursday. You can hear my dog. I'm going to move you over so you can see that the sun is shining here in South Carolina. See if I can get the sun where you can see it. You can barely see out that door for the sunshine coming in. I'm going to move you back over, and I will go get my dog and let her in. Okay, I'm back. What do you want, a biscuit? I don't know if you see her down there. She's like, I want a biscuit, Mom. All right, go on. She has to have that biscuit. Okay. Um, let's get started. I will go ahead and take you down so that you can see what I'm doing in my bowl. Let's see here. Bring you down and forward. And here is my glass bowl. I've already measured out 2¼ cups of all-purpose flour. Okay. And now we want to put 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Let's see, what did I do with my measuring spoons? I always seem to lose those. Hang on one second. Okay, I think I need to keep these around my wrist or so. I have a couple pair because I always misplace them. I don't know why. I'm notorious for that. Anyway, 3/4 teaspoon of sodium. Okay, and then we're going to put in 2/3 cup of, you can use shortening, margarine, butter, whatever you want, a combination, whatever. I do have I buy butter, but it's really expensive. So for this, I'm going to use a stick of Blue Bonnet, which I know you might not like that, but it is cholesterol free. I mean, that's what it says right there, but whatever. And so is this. But it's not the best thing for you. It's for your body to try to break down. But I thought I would make some kind of a dessert for Valentine's Day. And what I'm basically doing is cutting the butter into this, or margarine, whatever the case may be, into the flour. If you hear noises back there, it's because she's eating that biscuit. And my dog likes to be loud in the mornings. Sometimes she'll just come barreling in our room and flip the door open, and I'm awake. Everyone else needs to be awake too. Okay, so basically right now I'm just working this into the flour, and I could get my dough hooks if I want. Okay, I have the margarine, like I had 3 tablespoons of shortening with it, I think is what I had mixed in with the flour. And once it starts to crumble and you get like, crumbles and like little pea-sized pieces, that's obviously, when to start adding in some cold water If it's really humid, probably about 4 tablespoons, but um, you can add between 8 and 10 tablespoons of water, depending on how dry the climate is that day. And this is winter, so sometimes it's humid here and sometimes it's not. So we're just going to see. I have some clean water here from my filtration machine, and I'm just going to start adding in, and it has to be ice cold water. Okay, don't just use it. If you don't have any, put some ice in a cup and put some, water in it. Because cold water is the secret. And I'm just going to add 3 tablespoons to start off with and start blending it in with a fork or a pastry cutter. Okay. And just so you know, I'm preheating my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And because this is a berry pie, I'm doing blueberry, it'll take about 50 minutes to bake. Yeah. And I'm going to cheat today. I'll show you what I'm using, if I can find it. I'm going to use blueberry pie filling. I actually like to use fresh blueberries when I can, but with the price of things and that, I opted to just go that route and get a can of blueberry pie filling. But if you have blueberries on hand, or blueberries that you're going to thaw out from your freezer, you're going to want, believe it or not, anywhere between 3 to 5 cups of them, depending on how many you have, and about 2/3 cup of sugar, and about 3 tablespoons of flour to thicken them for a pie. But I can put that in the description if you would like, so you will have those measurements to go by. And you could do the same thing with strawberries, blackberries, cherries, whatever kind of fruit you like. But yep. The wonderful thing I like about the strawberries is if you get sweet ones, you can, process them, put them in a bowl, and just keep stirring them, and they kind of make their own juice, That's what I like about those. But we have really nice strawberries and strawberry picking here in South Carolina, usually around May. But it's only February, so. See, you can see the chunks are getting bigger and bigger. So you can see that the crust is trying to come together. So I'm just going to keep adding cold water until it comes together in a ball. And I'm sure a lot of you make pie crust all the time, Just in case it's not something that you did, Some people just like to make cakes and stuff. Okay, it's starting to really come together, and I'll probably end up using my hands in a second, and I am going to go get my rolling pin. Okay, I have you pushed back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, and I put some flour on the clean countertop surface. And what I'm going to do is, because I have to have, I'm going to make a fancy pie crust top. I'm going to cut this in half, so you have half for the bottom and then half for the top, for the lid, for the top of the pie crust, So you just want to knead this just a tiny bit, because what you're trying to do is to get it to stay together enough for you to make a beautiful pie crust, So that beep you heard was the temperature of the oven is ready. Okay. you don't really want to over knead this, but you know, you do want to knead it enough where it holds together, and fold it enough to where it's nice and flaky. So I think I'm going to at this time go ahead and start to use my rolling pin. And don't forget, it's always helpful to flour your rolling pin. Okay. And you can keep turning it to make sure that it turns round. You want to flip it over. Make sure your surface is floured again. Just keep maneuvering it until, you know, you get a nice round crust. And of course you want it bigger than your pie plate. Okay, so that's bigger than my pie plate. Obviously I know that. So I'm going to fold it this way. And then let's see where I put my pie plate. Right here. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this up and just put it like this, and then fold it out like that to where it's going. And then you just kind of work with it and make sure it's kind of even, you know, let it fall down in it like that, where you have some draped over the sides, so you can continue to you know, fold it in properly after your blueberries is poured in it. Okay, so it's like that. And then I'm fussy about the cans, so I'm going to wipe off the top of it with a cloth, because you know how sometimes they'll hold dust, or maybe dust that you can't see. So like that. And that's all there is to it when you're using a can. I know it's not that inventive, but sometimes if on a weekday you're pressed for time, you know, you do what you got to do. And I'll tell you what, it still tastes good. It really does. I mean, it does. And I'm sure, you know, if you're not a family that eats pie every day, you'd still appreciate it, you know. So, because I want to do a nice meal too, not just something for dessert. So my time is taken up, you know. You can put one or two, but I think we only need one can because I really don't want it spilling over in my oven, and because there is sugar in this. Total sugars is 17 grams. So I see they're looking at beautiful, very beautiful blueberry. Okay, so we're going to set this aside, and we're going to work on the top crust. Put some more flour down, and then you know, knead it just like you did with the bottom crust. Yep. I'm debating on a few things. I really rather just pick up something today because my husband and I worked really hard for Super Bowl snacks. I mean, oh my goodness, we had everything you can imagine for Super Bowl snacks, and we worked really hard that day, so I was kind of wanting a break. But I was thinking about making a beautiful bottom round marinated in my husband's homemade teriyaki sauce, and putting like an Asian blend of veggies together, and putting it over rice, like a brown rice that looks like this. you know, dark brown like that. So it has like a nutty flavor. I thought about doing that. So I may do that. We may have like homemade Asian cuisine. We may do that. So we'll see. And you just want to do the same thing with the, obviously, with the top crust. Make it round, of course. Trying to get the hair out of my way. I guess I should have put it up. I put my apron on to prevent flour from getting all over me, because I have a field day with flour. But I didn't think about putting my hair back. Okay. I guess when it's this cold, it doesn't enter my brain. But in the summer, I always have my hair up because it's so hot in South Carolina. And then I want to use this. This is a my heart-shaped sugar cookie cutter. And it has like a little ridge on the end of it. Let's see. And I didn't know if I should cut out some shapes while it's on the counter, or I'm thinking I'm going to do it while it's on top of the pie, because that way symmetrically it would be more accurate, you know. Anyway, ooh, that's what I am going to do. So we shall see. I got this big bowl in my way. Get that out of my way. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to fold it, and then you bring your pie forward, and then you put it on like so, and unfold it until it flips over like that. And then you can trim off any really large excess pieces, or, you know, you fold it under with the other crust, you know, like that. However you want to work it. So, okay, let me set that aside, that rolling pin. So you just, and even like on this side, you just want to take it with that bottom crust and just fold it under. If you can do that all the way around. If some parts don't match up, I'm sure your pie is still going to turn out. It is not the end of the world. It isn't major, huge rocket science that you have to worry about. You are not going to explode in space. Okay. So you're just mainly turning this under. Now, when you do, if you're doing lattice work, you don't turn it under. You do your strips, like one strip, one strip, one strip, one strip, and then flip every other one each time to get the lattice. That's how it's done. You flip every other one each time. You start off on the side, 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 flip, flip, flip. And then you fold the crust this way, inward. But because I'm not doing that today, it goes under like a normal pie. If there's such thing as, is there such thing as a normal pie? I don't know. Okay. Okay. So there you go. This is trying to be temperamental. I thought I did that side. And you just fold it under like that. So see, it looks like that. And I'm just going to flute the edge. Looks like I got some blueberry on that. I'm just going to flute the edge like I normally do, where you take, if you've not seen me do this, I take a wooden spoon and this part right here, and I just you take your little pinchers and you just go like that, and you flute the edge. Now see, some of it I have down in there. It's going to be hard to do. You just basically, you do the best you can. You see how it flutes it? You just do the best you can. you know, normally I have it hanging way over the edge. I'm thinking it's springing back because I may not have let the gluten rest long enough in it or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. I am going to just keep fluting the edge no matter how high up or low it is, just to make my pie look pretty. You just do the best you can. That's all you do. Okay. And there it is. See? That's the fluted edge. It's quite simple. You know, it's not a difficult one. Now, I'm going to take my heart, not my heart, but my heart cookie cutter. And I'm trying to think if I should do this. Obviously, you want this top part to be on the outside. You don't want it to be where the top part is on the inside. Well, maybe you do. It would be your pie, so you could do it the way you want. I'm thinking I might want one here, 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 and here, like 4. Because you don't want it to be overkill. And you can, because I have this lip, that fancy lip, I could use that as my guide point to match up with this side. Because if you put it so I see, this one has a lip and this has a lip. So if I get these two in line with that, I'm thinking I could line up the next two quite asymmetrically. They would be more, closer to perfect. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking, like this. And I'm just going to cut through my dough. Well, so I think I am, like that. And then I'm going to come along and cut through my dough like that and wiggle it back and forth. And then I'm going to do the same with these sides, back and forth. At least I think I am. I'm getting a little bit of blueberry on it. So it's cut. Now it cut quite a bit on one of them. I was trying to really cut it, like a lot. So one of them has it coming out. But that's okay. When it bakes, it'll still look really pretty. Watch. You'll see where one oozed out. But anyway, there's the hearts on my pie. I'm an amateur. I'm just trying something. But I thought it would be fun. Why not do a Valentine's Day pie, right? Because other than cheesecake, we kind of like pies. You know what I mean? My husband likes pies more than cake as a whole, other than cheesecake. And he was telling me, he said on the weekend, he said, think about it. He said, what other cake's better than cheesecake? You can't name one, can you? He says, it's always going to be cheesecake. Cheesecake is the best. Think about it. Cheesecake is the best. So he was adamant about that. But anyway, he's my cheesecake maker. So although I have a video on making a cold cheesecake, I let him make the baked New York style kind. Because that's what he likes. I'm just kind of going over them again. I really wish that one didn't goop out like that. But you see what I was trying to do. Boy, it sure did goop out, didn't it? If I could lift it up. I'll lift it up a bit. You just have to do the best you can. Yep. So I am going to put this in the oven for about 50 minutes. And I'll let you know what it looks like. Okay, while the blueberry pie is in the oven, I thought I would let you know that if you opt not to do a heart design like I'm trying to do, and you just want to do like the strips of lattice work on it, you can actually use a mixture of a little bit of milk and sugar and a little brush and brush the top of it. Put like a sparkly sugary coating on the top of your crust, and it's beautiful that way. And it gives the crust extra flavor. It's wonderful. When I made my lattice work one around the holidays, that's what I did. I put a little sugar on top. The other thing is, if your oven is really strong and it browns quickly, you can put foil over your pie for the first 25 minutes, and uh, then the last half of the baking time, you can, for the next 25 minutes, you can take it off. I didn't put anything on mine yet. I want to see how quickly it's going to brown. If I find that the edges are browning, too fast at that time, then I can put some foil around the edges, or just lightly lay a piece of aluminum foil across the top of it to prevent it from browning the edges too much or burning the pie. But I just wanted to let you know that. So I hope that this turns out for our Valentines. Okay, everyone, our pie is all baked. I'll show it to you. It's hot. It just came out of the oven. And yes, it was oozing out a little bit, but you're going to get that. Um, One thing I do want to show you, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but how I know my pies are done is when you can literally take it and turn it. It turns inside the Pyrex. It literally turns. That's how you know it's completely done. Or one way, that even the bottom part of it is done. But I'm going to raise you up so you can see what it looks like. See, I hope you can see that. See the beautiful hearts? And yes, it's oozing out a little bit. But that's okay. That's how you know it's homemade. So let me know in the comments if you're having something sweet and homemade on Valentine's today. And don't forget your whipped cream. Gotta have whipped cream for a berry pie. What? Oh, you said you don't have any? Oh, I'll tell you what. I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day, and I'll just share some of my whipped cream with you.